Let us begin with the prarthana. Gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroh matiraste gurau mama pahi guru gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroh matiraste gurau mama pahi guru gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroh matiraste gurau mama pahi guru. So today we have reached the lesson number 40. We are going to do a new lesson. Adya Nutana Patham Vayam Patamaha Adya Arabhya Nava Vishayaha Arabhyate Adya Saha Vishayaha Asti Shatru Shanach. Okay, Shatru Shanach Vishayaha Vayam Adya Kridanta Eva. Kridanta Eva Asti Kridanta Vishayeva Agre Kinchit Patamaha. Yasya present continuous sense iti vartate. Vartamana kala asamapakata. Asamapaka nama, which is not complete, incomplete action, which is like yet still going on, not yet complete, and it is in the present tense. So how, what we will be used for that? Okay, so that we are going to learn. So before we go ahead, let me give you some points. I know you all are aware. So if you want to share something about Shatru and Shanach, you can please one at a time. Okay, one at a time. Please raise your hand. I will call your name. Please raise hands. Swaminathan ji, you can.
Bhagini, more of a question. Why the name Shatru is coming in? Shatru is more like a, in general, enemy. So does it have any significance to its name, or it is just a given?
No. Like True is like Ta and Ra, Sanyukta Akshara. But this is not Sanyukta Akshara. This is Ach. The Rikara is Ach. It's Shatru. Shatru. It's not Shatru. That is Shatru. Okay, this is Shatru.
Shatru. Okay. Thank you. Dhanyavada. I made a mistake. Thank you.
Praveen ji, please tell your points.
Okay, Namo Namaha. I know very little. I don't know much about it, but whatever little I know, that I am sharing. The first, what I know is this Shatra Pratyay is used normally for Parasmayapadi Prayogaha, and Shanach Pratyay is used for the Atmanepadi Prayogaha. Then also I know that in the case of Parasmayapadi Prayogaha, suppose Pathanti is the Bahuvachan roop of the Pratham Purush. Then this Pathanti, that T will drop and Pathan will remain. So Pathan becomes the Ekvachana Rupa of the Prathama Vibhakti of the Pathan group. So that becomes the Shatru Pratyay. And for the Atmanepadi, Mana or the Ana, that is what is the Pratyayanta that gets attached to the Mul Dhatu. That's what I know. Little bit only.
Okay. Nice points. No, not wrong. Very good. Anybody else who want to add? Shashirekha ji.
Namaste, Bhagini. Shatru, Shanach, Pratyas are used in the present continuous action. And while they are used, while there are two or more actions are carried out at the same time. like balakaha, a boy is walking while reading, something like that. And then Shatru pratyas in Pumlinga, it's like takaranta shabda. And in Strilinga, it's ikaranta, like nadi shabda, it comes like ikaranta, nadi. And Napumsakalinga, it's I think it's like that is also takaranta shabda. I'm not sure about the Napumsakalinga 100%. All these pratyas will take subanta forms.
Napusaka Jagat is the Napusakalinga.
Yes, yes.
Jagat, yeah. Napumsakalinga. And Shanach is for Shanach is used with the Atmanepadi. Shatru, like the previous person said, Shatru is used with the Parasmaipadi.
Okay, nice, correct. Good points.
Dhanyavad.
Pragnya Bhagini.
Namaste Bhagini.
Namaste.
I have the same points. It is used for present continuous when we are referring to present continuous tense. Shatru is pratyaya is used for parasmaipadi dhatavaha and shanach for atmanepadi, and these have 7 into 3 that vibhakti table. And it is sometimes used as before the subject or noun, and when there is some action done while with this pratyaya, we always use one more
what?
One more verb to
okay.
To complete that sentence. We
Right.
use one more verb.
Right.
Like when two actions are going on and one is going on, like we have two verbs, two actions.
Right. Correct. Nice point.
Dhanyavada.
So we will go ahead. I don't see any more hands raised. Right. So let us go ahead. The Shatru is formed. Every pratyaya is formed this way. Like it has one element which is essentially added to the root or whatever base it is supposed to be added, and it is cut into the unessential or the non-essential parts, okay, which are dropped off, which don't take part in the word, which is output, which is coming as an output. Okay. So in this Shatru, the sh and the r are dropping off, and the at is the one which is remaining. Okay. With at is remaining. Now the sutra for this, we go by all formulas. Okay. So it's a formula like X is the dhatu. Okay. And Y is the purusha pratyaya, or now it's the supa pratyaya, vibhakti pratyaya. And in between, A is the gana pratyaya and E is the shatru pratyaya. So this shatru pratyaya has essentially something to do with the dhatu ganas. Okay. So the dhatu gana is very, very it's not used in kridantas at all. Okay, it's not used in kridantas at all. It is always used in the this one. Okay, tingantas, the ti taha anti forms. lat lakaras and all lakar, the 4 lakaras it is used. But in Shatru and Shanach, which is only one and the same, it's not two different pratyas, but the meaning wise it is the same. So the same formula, X is equal to dhatu, A is equal to gana pratyaya, E is equal to Shatru pratyaya, and Y is equal to sup vibhakti. So what does a word which takes sup vibhakti called? One place you are saying X is dhatu, but X plus Y, when X is dhatu, then Y should be purusha pratyaya. That's why I inadvertently said purusha pratyaya. Why is it a sup pratyaya? Because we already discussed it that it is going to be a noun. Okay, it's kridanta. The speciality of kridanta is that it forms two things. One is avyaya, one is non-avyaya. And a non-avyaya is always a verb, it's a noun base, nominal base. Okay, so these are the pratyayas that are generating nouns. Okay, nouns. I mean the formation, the outward formation will be a noun, and it is used mostly as an adjective. Okay, yeah, that's right. In the chat there is a this one. So it has a adjective. Okay, it's usually not adjective but an activity. We can also use it as an adjective. It can also qualify as an adjective. We will see that. Okay, so the formula completely is dhatu plus shatru is the at is remaining, dhatu plus at plus sup is what which happens along with vikarana pratyaya. Don't forget it. And Shatru is always used with the parasmaipadi dhatus, like we want to say something present continuous. We want to say something present continuous. Gachan, gramam gachan, trinam sprishati. It's the Shastriya example from Siddhartha Kaumudi. I love the Shastriya examples because they are worked out ones. Gramam gachan, trinam sprishati. So sprishati, we see that it's a complete action. Sprishati, what is he doing? He's touching the grass, trinam. Okay. So when is he touching the grass? Trinam sprishati, gramam gachan. While he was going to the grama. The grama going activity has not been complete. That is why gachan. Okay. Gachan. So while going, he is touching the grass. So touching the grass is complete action, which is the secondary one. But the present continuous activity is still not yet complete. It is gramam gachan. Okay. So if there were a dhatu which is like atmanepadi dhatu. Okay, we want to say the same present continuous sense. Then we cannot use Shatru. That is the meaning of parasmaipadi dhatuna. So parasmaipada dhatu will only take Shatru, and if it is an atmanepada, then we'll take Shanach. That's different. So it always means vartamanakalika asamapaka kriya. The kriya is not complete and it is happening right now. Like I am teaching, I am doing this activity right now. It's not yet complete. So patayami is okay. Patayanti darshayami. If I say, while teaching, I am showing you something. So that is the present continuous sense with the incomplete action. So patayanti is the incomplete action. Okay. So this Shatru pratyaya happens to join with all the dhatus, and dhatu gana is also taken, like unlike other kridantas. Other kridantas don't take the dhatu gana. And we all remember one point that whenever dhatu gana is not taken, then it is taking the second kind of dhatu division where we have the ajantas, halantas of the dhatus. Okay. Then each thing that comes out by this formula will always have a linga, a vachana, and a vibhakti. Okay, so it's going to be a nominal base. That is why it can take the three lingas, possibly three lingas only in Sanskrit, luckily also. Okay, then the vachana, obviously, ekavachana, dvivachana, and bahuvachana. And the vibhakti is the 7+1 vibhaktis. Okay. Then, so there is a shabda that is coming out as a result of this combination. That's why it has linga, vachana, vibhakti. So there will be 7+1 into 3 into 3. Because not only 3 vachanas, but 3 lingas are also there. So it's going to be so many forms. Okay. So 7+1 into 3 Pumlinga, 7+1 into 3 Strilinga, 7+1 into 3 Napumsakalinga forms. Okay. Now, more about Shatru Pratyaya. The Kliba Rupam, the Napumsaka Rupam will have the Pratipadikam, the same. The At, okay, the At which is formed will be the, for the 3 lingas, the At will be the base and it will be the base for Napumsakalinga also. Okay, like Gachat. Gachat is the Napumsakalinga base and it is also the normal base for the Pumlinga and Strilinga. Okay. Then Gramam Gachan, Trinam Sprishati, Gachan. So here it's a Pumlinga. So, but we said like one Bhagini had added like it always requires some other dhatu, okay, other kriya. It's not always a single, like I say, pashyanti or patayanti, then it's not complete. I should be using some other thing form. Thing form should come there. Okay. So, tatra gachanti, tatra apashyat. Atra gachanti, tatra apashyat. While going here, she saw there. So that way we can say, even if it's a bhutakala, apashyat. Okay, tatra gachanti, atra anyatra apashyat. So she looked at other side while going one side. So she looked, the past tense is there. But during that past tense also, she is doing that presently. Okay, gachanti, while going. So that is okay. Like, but gachan asti, patan asti, is not at all recommended. We should never, 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 never say that. Because Charudeva Shastriji's book, Prastava Tarangini, which has some like introduction about the grammatical elements of and the prominent features of Sanskrit language, very beautiful essay he has written at the beginning, Prastavikam for that book. Okay, he has written some for Sanskrit beginners. I mean, now these days we cannot say it's for beginners, but in his days it was for beginners. So it's a little high level, but it's very, very useful. So he wrote some anuchedas, like some paragraphs on certain topics, but it's very very qualified Sanskrit, very quality language, very high quality. In that, he says, please avoid this kind of. So there has to be another kriya pada which is non-asti. Non-asti kriya pada. Always remember. So, Bhagini, we will not use asti, we will use bhavati. Is it okay? Kurvan bhavati, is it okay? No. There should be some other activity. Okay. Annam khadan duradarshinim pashyati. While eating, he is watching TV. Such activities are okay. But khadan nasti saha, aduna khadan nasti. No, that is not correct. Okay. It's not my words. It's from Charudeva Shastri that I tell. Yeah, please ask your doubt.
Bhagini, that means only in the combination of present continuous, it is used like this. There is no such thing. For example, in other language, like in English or something, he was going is a continuous tense. But there is no equivalent in Sanskrit. He only say he was going means he agachat, saha agachat, right?
That
You
there is
don't-
no equivalent because agachat represents both.
Right.
Agachat
So that's
represents both. The present tense represents all many kinds of. He is all the simple present, continuous present, perfect present. Everything is represented by the form.
identify.
Not
Yes.
that there is no, there is no form. No, Sanskrit is rich.
Right.
We cannot say there is no form. T represents everything. You can khadati. Aduna kim karoti saha khadati. Why khadan nasti? Why do you want to translate English? That I don't understand.
Right.
What Sanskrit can express, please use that 100%. I mean, I'm not telling you. You means not you. Like somebody.
No. I wanted to clarify because the continuous tense is used only in the Shatru Pradeepa as a complex sentence, as a subordinate clause and all. You cannot use it just for saha gachanna bhavati. They try to make it like he was going, something like that, right? So-
Agachat. Gachati
Agachat.
sma. We can use sma if you want that kind of effect.
Right.
Gachati sma. We can say that. Latahasme is the sutra. Okay. But it is something, how to put it? It's a subtle matter. Okay. So when Pulala Sriramchandraji asked, I really was appreciating. That's why we should read scholars. He says in one book on commentaries, he wrote a small book on commentaries. How many kinds of commentaries? There he says, English doesn't have many things which Sanskrit has. Do the English people regret for that? Do we hold, okay, let alone English people, they cry or they laugh, it's not our matter. But do we cry that, oh, English doesn't have these things in like Sanskrit has? Do we regret that Sanskrit has paroksha lit lakara? Does English have it? English doesn't have it. Do we regret it? Is it a negative point for that? Does English try to do something to overcome that? Do they create some verbs to fit that paroksha lit lakara? Straight question. Very straight question. Are we doing it in Kannada? Are we doing it in Telugu? Are we doing it in English? Are we doing it in Hindi? Why do we want to do it in Sanskrit? Because it's not there. Why do you want to create certain thing which is grammatically wrong, idiomatically wrong, which is discouraged by the scholars? Straight question. So, Shatru pratyas is very, very wrongly being used these days. I find a lot of, I'm so much influenced that even I cannot stop myself sometimes using it. That much influence it has, because what we hear, we speak. What we read, we write. That's why please beware of that. If you are already doing it, then discourage it like anything. Just cut it off. Just put some fire on it. Set it away. Okay? Set it to fire. There is no other go. Kill it. Okay? So kurvan nasti, kurvan naste. Please discourage it. And apart from asti bhavati, you can use other. This one, like sir has said, it is like a clause in a like complex sentence. It cannot be a simple sentence like that. So if you want to say, Kim karoti, Duradarshini pashyati, pashyan nasti, why pashyan nasti? Pashyanti asti. No. Khadati, patati, aduna patati saha. Got done. Kim karoti, vrittim karoti, he is doing some job. Present continuous, he is doing a job. He does a job. You did a good job. Samyak akaroho. Done. Okay.
Bhagini,
Yes.
Bhagini, can we construct a sentence like Karyam kurvan Geetam shrunoti?
Yes. Why not wrong? It's not wrong. Nothing is wrong.
Okay. So kurvan and another lat lakara or whatever lakara, another verb should be there. That's what you told, no? Kurvan. Okay.
Two
Dhanyawad.
activities are there in that. I'll tell that. I'll explain that. Okay. Then it is not equal to the English language or Telugu. Like in Telugu, I can tell in like Kannada also I can tell. Madkondu. Like while doing this. Okay. Like in Telugu, chestu, chustu, టీవీ చూస్తూ అన్నం తింటున్నాడు. While watching TV, he is eating. So here what is happening is we are making the verb itself as half. The asamapakatva, the incompleteness is coming out of the verb. Chestu, chustu, in that. Maadkondu, nodkondu, or nodta. So that thing is bringing in that incomplete sense, where the verb itself has transformed into, but it still remains a verb. It still remains a verb. That point to be noted. Please listen very carefully. Here, the verb is changed into the asamapaka and it still remains a verb. So who is chestu is not the question. Atadu chestu, that fellow is doing it while doing it, ... So that doing is the verb sense. But in Sanskrit, it is not a verb. In Sanskrit, Gramam Gachan. Who is Gachan? Gachan is the fellow. Gachan is not the activity. Please understand this. Gachan is the person. Gachan or Gachanti is the person, and that is why there is a linga. That is why there is a vachana. Isn't it? So the present continuousness is not a tense or a verb or a activity. It is the person. It is the in Telugu we say vyakti. It is the purusha. It is the very, like it's a noun. He, she, it. Okay. So that is the very large difference in Sanskrit. Yeah.
It's more like a visheshana, right?
No, we cannot say visheshana. It's not always visheshana. Because Gramam Gachan, what visheshanatva is there? He is going. While going, that fellow is the one who is going. It's not a visheshana. Visheshana is something that bhedaka, as we discussed. Visheshana by Shastriya, it's a bhedaka. It's not doing any bhedakatva. While going, there is some activity described and the activity doing person is described through that activity. The difference with other languages is that in other languages, the activity that is described through this process, present continuity. But in Sanskrit, it is the person who is doing that activity. So TV chustu, vadu, adi, anything. It can be pullinga, strilinga, many people also. But in Sanskrit, it cannot be. Duradarshini pashyan, Duradarshini pashyanti, Duradarshini pashyat, Duradarshini pashyantyau, pashyantau, pashyanti. Like that, the vachanas and the lingas will change. So who is doing that activity is represented by the present continuous Shatru pratyaya, but not the activity. Please keep this in view. So lot of problems will be solved by this. Okay. Right.
So if you say Ramaha Gachanne or Ramaha Lakshmanaha Bharataha Gachanti, will you do that?
No. Ramaha Gacchati, Bharata Shatrugna Sarve Gachanti. But if you want to say Ramaha Gacchan, then what you will say? Sita Gacchan, will you say?
No, but if you want to say three people or Gachan,
that I have told in the Bahuvachana when I explained the initial classes. The normal Bahuvachana, Pumlinga Bahuvachana is normal Bahuvachana, where Pum, Stri, everything can be included. But when you say only Stris are there, then Strilinga Bahuvachana. For Strilinga Bahuvachana, if you will use, then it means only Stris are there, only the Mahilas are there. Pashyan, like it will go, I will come to that. I'll come to that. Okay. Yeah. But if it's a common thing where there are males and females, everybody in a group, then we use the common Pumlinga, this thing. Okay. Right. So the Shatru pratyaya, where it is added, it is called Shatranta. So Shatranta base, how it is formed? Like for example, At is the point which is remaining out of the Shatru. So we say Drish Pashya Dhatu is there. So Drishir Prekshane, Drish Pashya Dhatu. So that we say Pashyan. So but the Pullinga we say Pashyan. But what is the base of it? It is coming from Pashyat. because all other forms apart from the first 5 will be all ta only. Okay, you have already put it. One or two of you have already mentioned that point. They are takarantas. Okay, so pashyat is the base which is formed. Pashyat is the Shatru base for prashya drishya prekshane, and it is the norm. This one, Kliba base also. So pashyat, pashyanti, pashyanti, jagat, jagati, jaganti. Like that it is formed. Okay, so that is what I meant by the base is equal to Napunsaka base. The common base for all three is also a Napumsaka base in the Shatru case. In the case of Shatru, it is like that. The Pashyat will be Napumsaka base. Pashyat will take Pashyan in the Pumlinga. Pashyat will take Pashyanti in the Strilinga. Pashyat will take Pashyat in the Napumsakalinga. Like that. Okay. Then Takaranta, sometimes Dakara also. Okay. So there are like, it forms the Dakara sometimes. Okay. Then the Umlinga is Nakaranta Rupa. The Nakaranta Sandhis, okay, the Na, sometimes they are like Gachan. It will take sometimes the this one, according to the pratyas it takes, okay. It goes into this one, the Sandhis, okay. So the common one for your question I have already answered, but still I again tell that for like when we say want a Bahutva, in all Bahutvas it is the common thing. In all Bahutvas, wherever now nominal basis are there and the Bahutva is in the question, then if we use the common Pumlinga Bahutva, then it means the only males or males and females group. Okay. But if we use Strilinga Bahutva, then it means only Strilingas. Okay. Now we will enter the Shanach. Okay. So Shanach, please remember the meaning does not change. What all we discussed about meaning, okay, that being a noun, it's not a verb, it's a present continuous, it cannot be used with us and who, okay, all this is like applies to Shanach also. Meaning wise, there is no difference. Shanach is like two things are different in Shanach from Shatru. One is the base it forms, the structure it has, okay. And the second thing is the Atmanepadi and Parasmepadi. That's all. Rest is all same. So let us see what Shanach has to offer. Shanach is formed by ch and ch dropping off, ana remaining. But it's not always ana, remember. Okay, it's going to change. Unlike at. So the sutram is the same thing, where x is equal to dhatu, a is equal to vikarna pratyaya, e is equal to shanach pratyaya, y is equal to any supvibhakti. So dhatu plus gana pratyaya plus shanach is equal to dhatu plus ana plus sup. Dhatu plus vikarna pratyaya plus ana plus sup. So it's always along with atmanepada dhatus. So when we want to say shi dhatu, like while sleeping he is dreaming, we want to say something like shayanaha. Shayanaha swapnam pashyati. Okay. Then Vartamana Kalika Asamapaka Kriya, the meaning doesn't change. All dhatus, I mean all Atmanepada dhatus it is taking. There is Dhatu Gana also. The Lingavachana Vibhaktis are also there. Then there is a Shabda that is coming out as a result. So there is this 7 plus 1 into 3 into 3 table. Then this like Pushkarinyam Ramaya Ramamanaha Harihi Nandati. Okay, so there is a shloka, beautiful Venkateshwara shloka. Okay, Ramaya Ramamanaya. Swami Pushkarini Tate Ramaya Ramamanaya. So Ramamanaha. So for that fellow, for that person, okay, Srinivasaya Mangala. Okay, they say, so Pushkarinyam Ramaya Ramamanaha Harihi Nandati. What kind of Hari is happy? That Hari who is enjoying with Rama. Ramamanaha Harihi Nandati. So Ramamanosti ityadi na yujyate. So what is Hari doing? Ramamanosti. No, not at all. Okay, is not Ramamanaha asti, right? He is just Ramamanaha, that's all, right? So that is the difference. We should not do asti with this also. Okay, with this also we can never do that asti, right? Then next point, the pratyaya has got na. Whenever such pratyas are there with a na, then there is a chance of ana. Okay, the ana is the sometimes coming out of na. Okay, so that is why Ramamana is there, not na. Mana is not coming, but ana is coming. Okay, so phalitena shabdah nishpadyate. So what is happening is, along like when this combination happens, like some dhatu has been added, some atmanepada dhatu has been added with the shanach pratyaya, then the resultant is a shabda that is coming out. I mean, it is a noun base which is formed. So Ramamana is not a verb. Ramamana is a noun actually, which is working as a verb. We have already discussed these points with the last time kridantas which we discussed. Okay, we had ktavatu, kta, ktavatu. There we discussed this point. Okay, so it forms a nominal base.
What is the meaning of this example? Pushkaraniya, Ramya, Ramada, Harinanda.
Ramaya, Ramamana. Along with Rama, Pushkarinyam, in the Pushkarini, Swami Harihi, Nandati, he is happy while enjoying with Rama. That is Lakshmi. He enjoys with his wife in the Pushkarini, and that scene we all like it. That is why Swami Pushkarini. In the Tirumala it is there, isn't it? So that there is a shloka. So that is it. Clear? So the nakara is there in the pratyaya. It changes to ana. There is no problem with that. Shatru pratyaya in this case. Nothing changes there, but here it changes. Okay. So Shanach pratyaya yukta, it forms a Shanajanta. It's a Shanajanta. That's a Shatranta. This is a Shanajanta. And this is Akaranta Shabda in all the three lingas. Okay. It forms the Akaranta base. For example, Modamanaha, Purvanaha, like that, all a ending will come. Okay. So both of them, let us see how the forms are made. The Shatranta has Patha dhatu is a parasmaipada dhatu, pratipadika, like pata plus at, it forms a pratipadika. Okay. Then it is a takaranta pratipadika. In the pullinga, it is an, patan. In the kliba, in the napumsakalinga, it's at, like jagat. And ikaranta in the strilinga, it's like nadi. Okay, ati and anti. Sometimes it's ati, sometimes it's anti. So it's the Shatranta. Okay, how Shatranta goes? Patan, patat, patanti. So three forms are there. Now we'll come to Shanach. How does Shanach happen? Shanach happens to an Atmanepada dhatu. So it's Yat, Shanach, Yatamana, then Ana, Mana, Vana. It can show three forms, not just one. Okay, it shows three forms: Ana, Mana, Vana. So Purvana. Why Purvana? I don't have any answer. So there is no question why. There are only, like Bhasha Bhattarika replies to that. She is Bhattarika. She can have any forms. What is our task then? To know how many kinds of variations are there for this kind of idea. So Shanach is an idea. Shatru is an idea. Okay, so Shatru and Shanach are an idea for which we are trying to find forms in the world. In the world, they exist in these forms. We have to be very thankful to Sanskrit Bhasha Bhattarika because she shows least variations, least, as compared to our own languages. If we start to form our languages, one form you take one present continuous form, take one kta form, take one ktwa form, take one, anything, any noun forms like pumlingas, strilingas, and take the this kind of, I mean, the cases, case mark, then you will find there are so many variations. You cannot teach Kannada or Telugu like you can teach Sanskrit, as comfortably as you can teach Sanskrit, because there are least number of variations. Most of the things go by the rule, okay? But still, there are least variation, but variations are there. That we must be aware of. So ana, mana, vana. There are three things. Then the bhwadi and divadi and tudadi dhatus get mana inevitably. This I took from one book. I don't know. I've not tested this, but the book says that it's an authentic book. It says that bhwadi and divadi and tudadi dhatus get mana. Okay. Then sometimes it's ina also. Along with ana, mana, vana, there is an ina also, but it's not very popular. I mean, it's not occurring many times. It's rare. Asina, like that. Okay. Then the akaranta pumlinga is ana, mana, vana, anaha. Then akaranta kliba is anam, manam, vanam. Akaranta strilinga will have ana, mana, vana. The a will come. So this is a, aha, like that it will come. It's very different from the Shatru. Okay. So this is a little easier because we are more familiar with akaranta pumlinga, akaranta strilinga, because initially we learn them, but later the interest goes away. We stop learning the Shabdarupas. That's why we feel comfortable when the akaranta comes. We feel, oh, something we know has come. Oh, so far we have done journey, but nothing of our familiarity came. Oh, it's all new all the time. But here something familiar comes up. So anaha is like Ramaha. Ana is like Rama, and Anam is like Phala. Okay. As simple as that.
भगिनी एक उदाहरणं वानः इति प्रत्ययस्य
Kurvanaha.
कुर्वाणः अस्तु अस्तु धन्यवादः
Anaha is Shayanaha. Shayanaha. Manaha is Modamanaha. Like that.
अस्तु भगिनी धन्यवादः
So now what I had to add from my side has got completed, and I want to go into what book has to offer. We are entering into the contents of the book, our Anuvada Pradeepa book. The verbal roots get krit.
Mother, can you give me that? Show me that previous slide. Yeah. Previous slide. Yes.
This one.
Yeah. Next one. Next one. Yeah. Same. Just a minute. Difficult to note down. Okay. I will see afterwards. I can't note down. Okay, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. So we'll read. So these are the krit pratyas, basically kridantas, Shatru and Shanach in present tense, and they are called pratipadikas, or the nominal bases. Okay. Nominal stems. They get the case endings depend on the context. Normally they are adjectives. Okay. So they say that it's adjectives, but I more take it as a verbal activity of that. I don't take it as an adjective. Always I didn't find that. Then the roots which are, one more thing, I didn't add it. Like actually I had it in the points, but I didn't put it here. They act like this one on they take the principle of the Visheshanas that is there na. Yallingam yadvachanam yacha vibhaktir visheshyasya tallingam tadvachanam sacha vibhaktir visheshanasyapi. So the same thing happens with the Shatru Shanach also. It's always so. Okay. So in the adjectives, when they happen, now I get it. When it happens, adjectives, when they are from the second case on, until they are in the first case, same like the kta and the ktavatu pratyas we discussed, we had discussed this if you remember. like they act as verbs in the only present, first case. In the Prathama Vibhakti alone, they are acting as verbs. Okay, all the other places like Gachantam Ramam Pashya. Okay, Modamanam Balikam Pashyati. So he is seeing the Balika who is happy. Gachantam Ramam Pashya. See Rama who is going. So who is going is adjective. That is where this is coming from. That's why the question arises. Why adjectives? I was thinking. So this is from the starting from the second vibhakti. They act as this. So they take the same number, gender, and case, linga, vachana, vibhakti as the Rama, as the qualifier and qualified things come here. Okay, from starting from the second vibhakti. Like Ramam Gachan Tridam Sprishati, I was thinking in that line, but I was missing something. Now I recollect it that from second vibhakti Gachantam Ramam Pashya Khadantim Balikam. Khadantim Balikam Pashya. So in that the Balika is the Stri, that's why Khadantim. Okay, like that. So they are, that's why they are called adjectives, and they follow that linga vachana vibhakti, same similarity rule. Okay, so this is one place where we can know the gender of some nouns that we are not aware. Like for example, vak is there. Okay, so shlakshna vacham avadat. So the adjective usage shlakshna will give us like the clue that it is Strilinga. Okay, so vacham, like that. But like vacham, like okay, so like modamana, no modamana, we cannot say modamana vak. Something like sarit, pravahanti sarit, pravahantim saritam pashya. You don't know that sarit because in the halanta shabdas we are a little unaware of the linga of the shabda, isn't it? Sarit and vak are strilingas, but we are mostly unaware of the fact. That's why the pravahantim, when we say, oh, this sarit is a strilinga, that we know. Pravahantim saritam pashya. So there we understand that it is a strilinga. That's why it follows the linga vachana vibhakti similarity rule. Okay, right. So the roots which are parasmai get the Shatru suffix and the Atmani roots get the Shanach suffix. At in Shatru and Ana in Shanach remain. Okay, now, so this is like the forms given in the book itself. So Bhavan, Bhavanti, this one, observe the change forms and these suffixes are added. So it's like Bhavan, like Bhu Dhatu, the base form is Bhavat, same as Napumsaka. So Bhavan, Bhavanti are the generated from Bhavat itself. So Bhavat is at the base, Bhavan, Bhavanti, Bhavat will be the this one, now words. Pachan, Pachanti, Pachat. Okay, so like this it is changing. Gachanti, Divyanti, Chorayanti, Kurvati. Okay. But then the Shanach will take the Ana, Mana and this one. Okay, Seva Manaha, Ikshamanaha, because there is a Sha. That is why Ana came. Then Kurvanaha. Okay. So this is Shanach Pratyaya. So Patyamana. Oh, now Karmani. So we have discussed this point also when we did Karmani, like the present continuous. Karmani will always get Shanach. There will never be a this is very beautiful thing I like in Sanskrit. Everything is so defined. So what is happening with Karmani? Karmani tends to take Atmanepada terminations, isn't it? Karmani kena vyajyate. It is by the Atmanepada termination, isn't it? So once the Atmanepada termination is the area of Karmani, then if you want to say something present continuous in the Karmani, so then we use the Shanach itself. So Patyamanaha. So Patadhatu is a parasmai. So we don't say Patyan. There is no Patyan. Patan, while reading, Patantam, it's there. But there is no Patyantam or Patyan. But there is Patyamana. The mana will come because Shanach represents the Atmanepadi. Atmanepada area is like ये मेरा इलाका है भाई, तुम नहीं आ सकते. You cannot come. So Parasmapada says, okay, it's your territory. The territoriness is a very like crude idea, but it's a very defining thing that doesn't confuse us. So we should be prepared to use the Parasmai Pada Dhatus into the setting of Shanach, which is very odd for us. We cannot say Gachamanaha. We say Gamyamanaha. We cannot say Gachyan. We cannot say Gachyan, Gachyanti, Gachyat. We have to say Gamyamana. Mana, Shanach. Okay, that which is being reached. Okay, Patyamana, that which is being read. The Patyamanaha Granthaha Sundaraha, like the book which is being read is beautiful. Okay, yeah. Any doubts?
Bhagini, in order to transform the Parasmapadi root into Atmanepadi form for this kind of application, do we use the Nijanta forms like Ya is added, like Nich pratyas, Patyamanaha, Drishyamanaha?
Yes, yes, we can use. But you know, in the niche, it is dropped off. So it's as good as any other form. Niche is dropped off sometimes. Okay.
Bhagini, अत्र एक वाक्यं सूचितवती अहं चिन्तयामि पठ्यमानः बालकेन मार्गे पठ्यते. I don't know that patyate verb, whether it is correct or not. It is, I mean, when the boy who is reading, when he falls down, so that in Karmani, how to say? Patyamanaha balakena marge.
Patyamanaha, why is he Patyamanaha? Is Patan balakaha. Pathata balakena. He is Patan only. He is reading, right? He is not being read. If some girl is reading his mind, then he becomes Patyamanaha. That is the Karmani, isn't it? If the boy is reading, then he is the Karta. Is not Karma. When will he become Karma? When somebody else is doing him.
The boy who was reading fell down. How do we say in Karmani?
Who is boy? Boy is Karta of the reading, isn't it? Karta is not Karma, right? Balaha Patan. Balaha Patan Apatat. Patan Balaha Apatat. He just fell down.
Apatat. Okay, okay. There was some confusion.
Granthaha Patyamanaha. Granthaha Patyamanaha Apatat. He was reading and holding in hand, but something stuck up, then it fell down. So Patyamanaha Granthaha Apatat.
Okay. Fell down. Astu Bhagini. Now it is clear. Yeah, thank you. Dhanyavadaha.
So in the Karmani, it is a little, I told you, for all Karmani apna na dimag ulta pherna padta hai. So we have to put our brain ulta, thoda sa usko firana padta hai. Karmani zarur, it hits on our sense for at least 1 second. It triggers some activity such that we have to become alert. We have to think a while before we say something. In the initial stages, it happens. Even in the advanced stages also, Karmani always makes us so. Okay. Be ready for that. Simply enjoy it, right? Okay. It's enjoyable. I always enjoy it. So the above are the forms in the sense of subject kartru. In the sense of object, all roads gets shanach affix only. Okay. So even the parasmay padas will get this shanach. Shanach, it also gets the vikarana suffix ya. Okay. So it's not a vikarana, but it's a karmani suffix. That's what we thought. Now our exercises begin, but we are only left with 5 minutes. So I'm afraid we cannot do it today. Next class, we will try to complete all of them quickly, if possible. So I'll quickly just revise so that you can ask any questions. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll just revise things. So what we understood was Shatru Pratyas formation. What is left? At is left. Other two elements are dropped. Then we learned the formula where the Vikarana Pratyaya is an essential element of Shatru Pratyaya. Okay, then it is always with Parasmay Pada Dhatu. It is in its meaning we discussed. Sarvaihi Parasmay Pada Dhatu Bihi Yujyate. So it's always with Shatru Pratyaya with all dhatus which are Parasmay Padas. There is a Dhatu Gana also. There is a Linga Vachana Vibhakti. So what resultants is the Shabda. So there are 7 plus 1 into 3 into 3 tables. The 3, each base takes this. Each base that is formed by Shatru and addition will have the 3. It cannot be 1. It can never be 1. It can never be 1. Always one base is like 3 splits. One base, 3 splits. Okay, like that. So the at is like similar to the pratipadika of the napumsaka. Gramam gachandrana sprishyati example. Asti we should not use along with. All it can be used with a present continuous activity. Okay, present continuous participle. That's why it's a present participle. Participle is a noun generated from a verb. Okay, so it is like there are 2 activities. One is still complete, not complete. It is continuous. Okay, and the other is non-asti. Other is non-asti. Anything but asti. Okay, right. So Angla Bhasha, etc. will have this as a continuous verb sense, but in Sanskritam, it is a noun form. Okay, so it's a takaranta base. Okay, then the shanach we discussed the same points almost. Linga Vachana Vibhaktis are there. It is with Atmanepada, but there are 3 kinds of these things coming out: ana, mana, and vana. Sometimes ina also. Okay, so there is a case of ana coming out in form of na. So we should be aware of that. For all Atmanepada dhatus, we should like the present continuous sense works out by this, like the twa and liap. You remember? There is like this thing for always a locha for me. It always would make some kind of this thing in my mind. Oh, okay. When upasarga is added and it gets changed, that is twa and ilap, and that is forming an avyaya. And when Atmanepada, Parasmapada affect the Kridanta, it's the Shatru and Shanach. So it took a long time for me to understand this. But you're all very you're all already aware of these facts. So some things confuse us for some part of our life. They play with our understanding for some time. It's just the play of Bhasha Bhattarika, that's all. Okay. So when Atmanepada, Parasmapada affect, that Kridanta is Shatru Shanach present continuous. When the Upasargatva affects, that pratyas are twa and lyap, and they are avyayas. They are not shabdas. Okay. So that is how I can give a this.
Bhagini, one quick question.
Yes.
Can you explain that number 7 plus? I know 3 times 3 is Purusha and Vachana. 9. The 7 is a 7 lakara.
7 is the case. 7 plus 1 are the cases. The 7 cases plus 1 sambodhana, and then the linga vachana. Okay. 7 plus 1 into 3 is the cases into vachanas, which so is the usual table. So into 3 is the 3 lingas.
So the math is 8 times 9, 72, or 7 plus 9, 16?
No, not 72. It will be 24 forms, Arya. It will be 24 table. 24 plus 24 plus 24. How much will be? Both is at 12, isn't it? Yeah, 72. Yeah.
72. Right.
72. Yes, yes. 72 forms. Each base will make 72 forms. Okay.
Dhanyavada.
Then Shatru, Shanach, both of them taking the forms. There is a concept, there is a structure, there are forms. Okay, so that we all discussed all the three. Then we discussed the what is there in the book. Almost same points. We observed some forms, and it's like adjectives. Adjectives is non-prathama vibhakti forms are all adjectives. Non-prathama vibhakti, starting from Ditya vibhakti, they follow all the visheshana kind of things. Okay, visheshya kind of things. And there is a karmani. This is very interesting thing, karmani, that the parasmaipada dhatus also tend to take the atmanepada shanach terminations with the present continuous sense. Okay, so we completed till here. Now you can ask any doubts.
Mahodaya, I have a small doubt. Just correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding, that which is being read, if I give an example, like that book which is being read by the mother to the child, will it be a patyamana?
Yes. Mother or child or anything, it is being read, then it is patyamana.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Dhanyavad.
If you are saying from the book point of view, then it is patyamana.
No, anything which is being read, being seen, it will be this thing.
Karmani.
Right? Okay, correct. Dhanyavad.
Bhagini, I had read somewhere, I'm remembering now, if I'm wrong, kindly correct me, that two lettered dhatus will get mana in Shanach, and one letter dhatus, like you said, she and the, they will get ana. I had read somewhere. Could that be correct?
What will be for Sri? I have to see. Kru is Kurvana, Sri is Survana. No, I don't know. Because I didn't test it. That's why this rule, if the book which you took it from has tested it and put it, then it's okay. I didn't test that rule.
It is given in one Kannada grammar book. I had read.
Usually, Bhagini, I will tell one caution, not because I was a victim of this. That's why. What happens is when we follow some beginners' books, they tell us some facts, like as if they are the final. With the final air, they will give us. But when we learn grammar, Paninian Vyakarana, when we learn, then we understand that they were misleading us. But they do it for a purpose, like they want to give some simple solutions kind of things for the encouraging the students. I don't say it's wrong, but the students sticking to that very basic stage and thinking it the final thing is wrong. Okay. Yeah.
I understand.
Bhagini, I can give an example. When I was starting to learn Sanskrit, they say Visarga is always used for Pullinga.
Pullinga, that is very
right.
And Akarantas are all Strilingas.
So that's what I'm saying. So when you want to make the point across, they simply quickly say that. But as you said, if you go deeper, it is not case. So it changes. So
when people come and tell me Asam is Karta Strilinga, tell me. Anybody, nobody will tell. Even they don't know one word of Sanskrit also, they will say Karta is Pullinga only. Isn't it? So it's like that. So please be aware. I was also ditched by this. Like somebody, like in one book, it's written by the author that yak is the karmani. That I told in the previous class. Yak is the karmani pratyaya. No, yak is not karmani pratyaya. Te is the karmani pratyaya. Yak happens to show, it does not show also. It's like free. It's like in some sarvadhatuke yak, and yak comes only with sarvadhatukas. Now I have to explain what is sarvadhatuka. See, I prefer making things complicated for students rather than making them wrong for them. Do you understand? I take the risk, as I told you, to make them complicated for you, but I don't make them wrong for you. So this thing I don't know. You have to verify. I'll give you one this thing. There is a table, like the Shatru Shanach table will be there. You just observe. You just pick up some. Take an exhaustive table and observe the forms. That will be solving your problem. Okay.
Okay, Bhagini. Dhanyavad.
Even yadi ahamapi karomi, I will also do the same thing. I will take some forms, enlisted thing, wherever it is available, where Shanach forms are given, and I'll observe with each dhatu where how it is changing. Where is vana, where is mana, where is ana, where is ina, how many dhatus have ina. So all that I'll make some notes. Okay.
Okay, Bhagini. Dhanyavad.
Ma'am, I had a silly doubt whether Buddhimana, Vardhamana, Shaktimana, are these anyhow related to Shanach pratyay?
First of all, buddhi, shakti, and these are not dhatus, right?
Yes, they are not.
Yeah, vidya, shakti, buddhi, they are not dhatus.
No.
So we are talking about X is equal to dhatu in this case, isn't it?
Right.
So
Right.
patha, drishya, kri, all these are dhatus. What you speak is matup pratyaya, and it looks similar. There are three things that look similar. One is tavatu, one is shanach, and one is matup. These three look very similar. Okay.
Yes.
So matup is a tadita, right?
Matup is a tadita pratyaya. Yes.
I have a question along the same line. Patyamanaha, can it be used like a buddhimanaha, like it's a scholar like that?
Yeah, like category wise, it's a noun, isn't it?
So
Category wise, if you are saying grammatical category, yes, then it's pullinga, ekavachana, pradama vibhakti. There you can use buddhiman. It's not buddhimanaha. Buddhiman.
Buddhiman.
Pradama vibhakti will become buddhiman.
Buddhiman.
In fact, if confusion arises, you should go to Shatru. Isn't patan, gachan, and
Correct. Buddhiman.
Buddhiman.
This we can practice. How do we, at home practice this? Like we take a lot of dhatus and just, like suppose if I want to say that which is being spoken. So we can practice that way. Just take the verbs and do it in the house.
No,
I mean, how do we go about doing it?
So there is one book of like the best thing I can give you is by Mataji, Mata Pushpa Dikshit ji. Her Tinkrit Kosha in 2 volumes you will get in the Vedanta book house. You can just go tomorrow and purchase it. Okay, so the 2-volume book Tinkrit Kosha will solve your problems. You just observe those forms, because don't try to make them that big, because lot of things are involved in like one pratyaya being attached to many dhatus will give rise to so many combinations that a beginner student will be overwhelmed by that. Even like students like you who are in the intermediate stage will be truly like it's mind boggling. So don't go for self for this thing. Just go for a book, observe the forms as I have already told you. Some accomplished lists will be there from which you have to like find. Yeah. Tinkrit Kosha. I'll write in the chat. Tinkrit Kosha. It's in 2 volumes. Okay. It's published by Samskrita Bharati. It's a 2-volume. It's not very costly also. Somewhere, something inside 200, 300 only it comes. Somewhere inside 300. 2 volumes, small like this book. This much thickness, not very thick also. So one book will open like this. One book will open like this. The second volume will open like this, where the Kridantas are there. And in the first volume, the Sarvadhatukas are there. In the first volume, the Shatru Shanach are there. So you can just test the Shanach forms in practice. And you know, as like actually this is a problem also. I agree from the point of view of a beginner that we don't have any accomplished books on these. Nobody made exhaustive lists of the later forms. They give us the formula and they forget. Like Patyamanaha, Pat is the dhatu, Yak is the this one, pratyaya. Then it's a Shanach, then it's a Pumlinga Pratyaya. So they teach us to follow this principle, and they just give us some examples and forget. As we grow up, the exhaustive list thing is gone away. only we get the mostly what we get in abundance is the ti, taha, and ti forms. That's all. For all the dhatus, if you get something very accomplished, very voluminous, bulky books, then it is the dhatu pradeepa, dhatu, not dhatu pradeepa. Let me give you that name. Dhatu Ratnakara or some book is there. Some Jains have published the 5 volumes or that book is there. And Dhatu Rupa Nandini kind of books, which model, like for every new model, they give all the forms, and they, all the others, they say, go to that verb and see, go to this page, this verb and see. Like that they give, they completed Dhatu Rupa Nandini. So Kridanta Rupa Nandini is also there. That also does the same thing. It is not an exhaustive, like complete forms are there. No, it's not like that. But it always gives you some clue. Okay, the Kridanta Kridanta Rupamala. Yes, Kridanta Rupamala is one very bulky work on all Kridantas, and I think it's almost exhaustive. Like they also give modeled kind of thing. Like for one dhatu, they say go to refer, like this dhatu is like that dhatu, so go to that dhatu and see. And we have to replace those forms, but it's more or less exhaustive. Yeah.
Kridanta Rupamala is a 4 volume. It's a huge collection of models.
Ah, true. But it's done by Kalon. Kalon website has it.
Right.
Kalon, I'll give the link. There you can just search in the list display. You can just search whichever. I use it a lot. I use it a lot times. Kridanta Rupamala. Very, very convenient.
Bhagini, अत्र नपुंसकलिङ्गे गच्छत्, गच्छति, गच्छन्ति. That bahuvachana form gachanti. Like I thought of one sentence. Gachanti vahanani sahasa tishtanti. And the moving vehicles suddenly stop. I don't know whether sahasa is suddenly. Is that correct?
Vahanani gachanti sahasa tishtanti. Correct.
Gachanti vahanani. Like I am using it as an adjective. The moving vehicles. Gachan.
No. You cannot use it like that. What you mean is the vehicles while moving, they stop.
Yes,
like
yes. Shatru
not the
pratyaya.
moving vehicles. No.
Yes. Yes, understood, Bhagini. Gachanti vahanani sahasa tishtanti.
Tishtanti, atishtan.
They stop. Sthagayanti.
I think it's correct. Yeah. No, not Sthagayanti. Tishtanti is good. Atishtan is also okay. Like they stopped suddenly. Sahasa atishtan.
So here tishtanti is latlakara bahuvachana, whereas gachanti we are using it as napum shana. I mean shatru pratyaya. So that will confuse us a little.
It will confuse. And the Dvitiya, the Dvivachana will confuse with the Strilinga form. Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti, isn't it? So the Jagati will be like Nadi, and we will think that.
But there gachanti, gachantau, gachantyaha comes, no?
Gachantyau.
Yakara.
Yau.
Astu Bhagini, dhanyavadaha for clarification.
Yeah, that point I missed it. Good that you have raised it. We have anyhow had to cover that point. I didn't cover it. So I thought we covered it in another this thing where we had an elaborate session, 2 or 3 sessions on the similar forms, right? There, I think we covered this point. Yeah.
Astu Bhagini, dhanyavadaha.
So Bhagini, one quick question. All Shatru pratyas, they ends in takarantas. All Shanach pratyas ends in nakarantas. Is that correct?
No, not nakaranta. No, it's akaranta. Mana, ana. I is there in the end.
Akaranta, okay.
When you say nakara, there is no I in that. Na is that what we meant by nakara. So it's not na, it's na. That's akaranta. And all these are takaranta. Though we say like gachan, patan, like I did this mistake. I thought it's nakaranta. Then I corrected myself. Oh, starting from Tritiya, it's all ta. Patata, patate, patata, patatha, patati. So it's all like that. Yeah. Kridanta Rupamala, 4 volumes. I don't know how many volumes it is because I always saw it in the Colon website only.
It was published long ago, 200 years ago, I think, 100 years ago.
It's a very old book, yeah.
Old book.
I saw it in the archive.org, the printed volume.
It's available as a e-book, like a PDF file.
Yeah, scanned book. The
Yeah.
scan was very bad and very
Very
old.
bad. Very bad, I agree.
But luckily Cologne has it. They have digitized it, and I wish we could like relate that. I mean, there are a lot of works that we can do already, digitized things. These are all my dreams. Like if there is a one Kridanta form with the Shanach, then I wish we could give the link to the table of that. Okay. But actually,
So,
it comes
you
to the
recommend this thing, Tinker's Kosha or Vrunda Mala, Bookmala? Which is better, you, in your opinion?
For
Tinker's
the beginner,
Kosha.
Tinkrit Kosha, please use Tinkrit Kosha.
Sanskrit Bharati.
Yes, it's simply available. It's very easily available also.
Rupamala, you use Asara Rupamala? Asara Kridanta Rupamala?
Beginners will not be able to use it. Rupamala is very complicated. It's a little advanced. For advanced users, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
I don't like much spoon feeding for the students. That's what when people say, oh, Sanskrit dictionaries are so useless, you know, they don't give all the, like Ramayana I want to see. I don't find Ramayana at all in the Kosha. They say, I laugh, my heartiest laughs are at such moments. Why do you want to see Ramayana? I said, do you find went in the dictionary? Do you find gone in the dictionary? Huh? Do you find Ramas in the dictionary? For every word, if he starts giving the possessive case in the dictionaries, imagine the volume of the dictionary. They give the base. They encourage us to think. They tell us that Ramayana is nothing but Rama plus Trutiya Vibhakti. So go for Rama. Why do you go for Trutiya Vibhakti? Trutiya Vibhakti you already know. What you all want to know is Rama. You go for Rama. So that thinking our elders have given us. That's why Patyamanaha doesn't, when you enter this stage where you can deal with Patyamana, you don't no more require any dictionary or anything. You only get confused with certain areas where you need some clarification. For that you have elders, and some experience in that will complete the process. It will not bother you for a long time. That is the beauty of Bhattarika principle. That is the beauty of her. We say Sharanu, Amma Sharanu, then she will just reveal her identity, reveal her the true nature to us. I am not saying this, Veda says this. Okay, I think all doubts are complete. We can close the class.
Yes, Bhagini, you may.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग्